Hello, Aiste, and thank you so much for joining me for our mini interview initiative. I'm so excited for our viewers to get to learn about your career pathway and what you have been up to in the fashion industry. So I know you are a fashion artist right now. Do you mind telling us if this has always been a career path of yours or if you started in a different avenue?
Yes, so I always did have an interest in fashion since I was a little girl. I used to draw up stuff all the time and look at fashion shows. And even when I was a kid, my mom used to sew a lot, so I used to get her to make me outfits and stuff. So there's definitely been a passion for it for a long time, but I didn't study it right away. I actually studied history and English lit in university, and was either thinking of possibly becoming a teacher. And then eventually, when I was looking into doing a master's degree, I did go into an open house for a fashion school that was down the street from the university. And that kind of I was like, nope, this is what I want to do. So I used to do a lot of sewing of my own, and I just realized I wanted to learn how to do it properly and how to do, get a little more acquainted with all the techniques. And eventually, that's the path I ended up taking for sure. So
Awesome.
it took a little bit of a turn.
Yeah.
So I did finish my undergrad degree in history, and then continued into fashion afterwards.
That's awesome. Now, in the art community and the creative economy, did you only explore fashion, or was there any other artistic avenues that you had kind of dabbled in, or was it just fashion that really took interest to you?
I mean, I used to draw a little bit, and I definitely liked to write a lot. I do creative writing. I still do it at home, like sort of for myself. Not something I really share that much,
Yep, yep.
but yeah, fashion is definitely my focus right now.
Awesome. Now, also, I know that your fashion line, did it begin in Canada and then you came to Cape Cod? Can you talk about that transition that you made coming to here on the Cape?
Yes. So yes, I studied, I'm from Montreal, and I studied fashion there, and I started my clothing brand there, as well as got a lot of my fashion experience
Okay.
there. My husband and I came here, he's from here originally, sort of to work on our stuff. We thought we'd just be doing it quietly in our little cottage and sort of move on after that. But I did meet a lot of people here, including the Love of Local ladies who started Love of Local. And so the community just was super supportive. And I did realize there was kind of like a missing link. I never really thought about like, I'm going to move to Cape Cod and this, budding fashion industry over here. Like I knew that was going to be quiet and then not much going on in that terms, but actually I was really surprised how much interest there was. And, the fact that there's not that many designers here is actually like a positive thing for me. In the end, like I was able to sort of like find a little, a role to play here, in terms of that. So, and it's great now because I'm starting to meet more people who do it, and maybe we can start a little, fashion corner here on the Cape.
I know with just the artworks program, we do have so many of our students that are interested in fashion. So we've been so grateful to you to be a part of the program as a mentor and be able to share your passion for fashion with these students who wish to pursue it in their future. And I know just the network of artists on the Cape is growing, and it is so impressive just to see how you all work together to support each other. So I'm so thrilled that you were able to locate here to Cape Cod and be able to pursue your own business in fashion.
Yeah, and it's actually really refreshing, coming from a big city where people are sort of always competing with each other. It's really nice. We all say that, like all the people that I collaborate with and work with, how everyone is so supportive of one another instead of just, sort of like, well, I'm going to do my own thing and you do your own thing. I think it's really nice. It's a lot more open to collaboration. And that's really nice to be in a community like that. So
yeah, I love that. That's amazing. And now also, so your clothing line is eco-friendly and sourced from natural fabric. So can you discuss why this was important to you?
Yes. when I graduated from fashion school, I started, my career working for a couple of brands in Montreal. And, you do learn as you work in sort of bigger companies, sort of the ills of the industry. There's a lot of waste. There's a lot of unethical practices that happen, especially when stuff is made overseas. So when I was working there, I really did want to make a difference. That's the reason why I started the brand, really, is to sort of like, I'm going to do it differently, so my brand is made to order. I don't overproduce things. I don't have a lot of stuff made and then wonder if it's going to sell or not.
Right.
And it was important for me to use natural fabrics, and all the fabrics I use are certified, Ecotex certified. So that means they're organic. They use organic dyes. The method of producing and growing the fibers is eco-friendly. So that was a thing that I was focused on when I first started the brand. And that was, 8-9 years ago. There was brands doing eco-friendly stuff, but not that many. And at the time, I kind of just wanted to make stuff that I knew was sustainable and ethically made, that like I liked, which was hard for me to find. There wasn't that many choices back then. So, my goal was to sort of provide another aesthetic. And I mean, it's great now because the conversations definitely has grown so much more now. And I think people are a little bit more aware of that. I mean, 10 years ago, people were like, what? I didn't know fashion could be, what's eco-friendly fashion? And these are people who were like, cared about the environment, and they were like, I don't know, how can fashion be eco-friendly? I'm like, well, actually, there's this, and that. So I think it's great that we've gotten this far, and people are a lot more aware of it, and the difference is that the choices, there's more choices available, and also that they have those choices. So
for sure. I think, not like you said, not a lot of people think of, how can a clothing line be eco-friendly or sustainable? And I think you made a good point of the waste. Like, we think of food waste, how much food are we throwing away? But what about all the clothes too that are getting wasted and just thrown away? So I love that you've been able to welcome that into your entire fashion line and make it eco-friendly and ethical and sustainable. So that's amazing. And what would you say your clothing line is inspired by? Is there an overall theme, or did something inspire you specifically, or what is it?
Yeah, well, I mean, in terms of like following the question about sustainability, like I try to make designs that are, sort of timeless and stand the test of time, try not to like follow trends as much and just focus on things that will look good 5 years from now. So I am definitely inspired by more vintagey things. It's like, if they still look good now and they look good in the 50s, possibly they'll probably still look good like 10 years from now. So vintage definitely inspires me. And I think like, if you're going to take like really a specific image, like I like sort of like the 50s European, like French woman, like your, Bridget Bardot or Jane Birkin. They just like, they had like a simple style, but it was always elegant, a little bit rebellious, so those are sort of like my muses that I always look to, and I'm always like, would they wear this?
Right. I love that. I love that.
When I'm designing. So that's, yeah, I mean, I would
Timeless.
say
I love
definitely,
that.
yeah, timeless, vintage inspired kind of stuff.
Beautiful. And now, so you mentioned some of the muses that you look to when it comes to fashion. So have you ever had a mentor for yourself, or someone that you look up to?
I mean, I look up to a lot of, like quite a few fashion designers that have inspired me over the years, like Vivienne Westwood, not necessarily for her style, but I mean, I do like her style, but I'm not necessarily inspired by her like aesthetic, but I like that she was self-made. She sort of was like, I'm gonna make my own stuff, and she taught herself how to do it. So she was definitely a big inspiration for me. As a personal mentor, I never had one. I wish I did. That's why I love doing your program with you, because it's nice to be able to know that you can pass it down to you know, someone that would have been like a little me that was looking
Absolutely.
for someone like that. I mean, it was nice. I did have my family all knew how to sew, my aunts and my mom and my grandmother. So I did learn a lot from them. But it would have been nice to, like, you know, have another designer that was, you know,
Right.
in my city or in my town when I was growing up to be able to sort of shadow would have been great.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Well, it's
unfortunately, it didn't happen,
awesome.
but that's okay.
Yeah. And it's like you said, you're giving back by being a part of a mentor of the artworks program, because you see that you didn't have that physical mentorship. You might have looked up to others and they would have never known, but being that physical mentor in the artworks program, I know means so much to these students. And we are forever grateful, and I know that they are too. And they leave with such valuable skills and talent, being able to mentor side by side with you.
Yeah. And I
Um,
think we get a lot out of it too as a mentor.
yeah,
I
true.
feel like I learn just as much from the students as they learn from me, you know, in terms of,
Yeah.
um, I mean, just it makes you stay younger.
Yeah, right. We're always learning.
Yeah.
Now, what is one piece of advice you would give to a young adult who wishes to pursue fashion?
I would say, you know, stay true to, I mean, I know it sounds a little cliche, but like really stay, you know, stay true
Mhm.
to the things that you like, the things that you love. Like if you're really passionate about fashion, yeah, stick with it and try not to be like somebody else, you know,
Mhm.
just, you
Mhm.
know, do your thing.
Right, right. Be you. Yes, I love
Be you.
that.
Yeah.
And now, what if a young adult wishes to pursue their own business? What advice would you give to them?
Well, I guess I would say you have to really, really love it and want it. It's a lot of work. Um, it's, you know, it's not like taking a 9 to 5 job where, you know, you leave at 5 o'clock and you're done.
Mhm.
It's something that's always going to be on your mind. You'll always be working on something. You'll always be thinking about stuff.
Mhm.
So just, you have to really love it. Like you have
Mhm.
to really want it and love it. Because if you doubt it, it's not going to work. Like it's
Mhm.
one of those things where, and you have to be very disciplined because when you work for someone else and someone else is telling you like, hey, you need to finish this, if you don't have that kind of discipline for yourself, it's not going to work as
Mhm.
well. I think,
Mhm.
um, yeah, you need to have the passion to do it. You have to be driven and have the willingness to do it, and you need to have the discipline to do it. So
Mhm. That's great advice. So this comes to the end of our interview, Aiste. I want to add one more question. With the holidays coming up, where can individuals purchase and view your pieces if they're interested in gifting to someone that they want to for the holidays?
yes. So first off, you can come to my studio. It's in Hyannis, 539 South Street. I share the space with Love of Local, so you can also shop for all the other local goodies.
Mhm.
Other than that, I have a website. It's devinto.net. If you go there, there's a shop. You can shop online on the website.
Mhm.
You can see my stuff on Instagram or Facebook, Devinto Design, handle Devinto Design. That's both for Facebook and Instagram. And I'm on Etsy as well. You can search
Oh, Etsy,
Devinto on
perfect.
Etsy if you like. So those are the places
Perfect.
to find me.
Great. Well, thank you, Aiste, for your time. I know that all the information that you've given on your own passion for fashion and your career pathway and your interest in your own business will be a great resource for all our students, and certainly insightful as well. So thank you so much for taking the time to do our
Thank
mini
you for
interview
having me.
initiative. Thank you,
Thank you for
Aiste.
having me.
Thank you.